It's time for munching and mating in the Macrocystis, or giant kelp, with your host, Dr. Bill Bushing. One of the best things about my job is that when I go to the office, I don't have to wear a tie with my suit. Wetsuit, that is. This episode focuses on two species of baitfish commonly referred to as mackerel: the jack mackerel and the chub mackerel. Yet one is an imposter and belongs to the jack family.
The jack mackerel, Macrocystis symmetricus, is a member of the jack family, Carangidae, and is not a true mackerel. Its closest relatives are the scads, such as the Mexican scad, Dicapterus scombrinus, seen here with the landlord off Guadalupe Island. Species in the genus Macrocystis, which means rough-tail in Greek, are commonly known as horse mackerel, and this species was too in the past. Today, jack mackerel are also known as Spanish jack or Spanish mackerel. These jacks have an elongate body that is slightly compressed laterally. They may reach a length of 32 inches, or about 80 centimeters, but are usually less than 22 inches, or 55 centimeters. Their backs are metallic blue to olive green in color, with silvery sides and a white belly. The region on top of the head near the eye may be quite dark. Jack mackerel are said to darken in color as they age, unlike humans. There's a dark spot on the upper rear of the operculum, or gill cover. The mouth contains a single row of small teeth on each jaw. The jack mackerel's two dorsal fins are separate, and the caudal or tail fin is strongly forked. Jack mackerel differ from all other species in Southern California in having a lateral line that is high in the anterior or forward region, then dips dramatically behind the second dorsal fin. This jack is known from southeastern Alaska to the tip of Baja California and into the southwestern Sea of Cortez. It has also been reported from Acapulco and even the Galapagos Islands. Jack mackerel move into their northernmost waters as temperatures increase in August and September, and are often driven up the coast by El Niño events. They travel in large schools as far out as 600 miles or 960 kilometers from the adjacent coast. But are usually found within 200 miles or 320 kilometers. Although most commonly seen in surface waters down to 30 feet or 9 meters, they may occasionally be found in depths as deep as 600 feet or about 180 meters. Most of the young are found in the inshore waters of southern and central California, near kelp or around piers and other structures. Larger adults may move inshore during summer as well. Like most species referred to as baitfish, the jack mackerel feeds mostly on zooplankton such as small crustaceans and on fish larvae when young. Like the anchovy and Pacific sardine, they will munch on eggs and the larval stages of copepods found in the plankton. Adults add larger prey, including fish such as anchovy and lanternfish, as well as krill and squid to their diet. In turn, jack mackerel are eaten by seals, sea lions, porpoises, swordfish, sea bass, pelicans, and other aerial predators. Watch as these schools of jack mackerel separate when a kelp bass, one of its predators, enters. The following sequence shows a small school of them trapped between a breakwater and the inner edge of the kelp forest. A group of hungry kelp bass hiding in the feather boa kelp create carnage at Casino Point. Even a plump seagull attempts to get into the act. Jack mackerel were commonly caught by Native Americans for food. They are also fished commercially today. And the larger ones are targeted by recreational anglers as well. In the late 1940s, when the Pacific sardine population crashed up north,
Hey, where's everyone gone?
the canning industry in Monterey looked for new product, turning to what was then called horse mackerel. The take of this species rose from 10 million pounds in 1946 to 130 million the following year. In 1948, the U.S. Pure Food and Drug Administration permitted the name to be changed from horse mackerel to jack mackerel, which apparently greatly improved its market appeal to consumers. The jack mackerel is closely related to Trichuris murphyi, which is found off Peru and Chile. Some consider that species to be a subspecies of the jack mackerel and call it Trichuris symmetricus murphyi. This species or subspecies supports one of the largest horse mackerel fisheries in the world and is the primary target of the Chilean commercial fleet. Another relative, Trichuris picturatus, is found in the eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean. Like most fish, jack mackerel acquire parasites that may be removed by various cleaner species. I have also filmed young jack mackerel rubbing themselves on soup-fin sharks, giant sea bass, and even large sheephead, most likely to scratch their itches and remove the parasites. One very interesting behavior is the release of a stream of bubbles, apparently from their air bladders. Some in the media have jokingly referred to this as farting, although it has nothing to do with the anus. They believe it may serve as a form of communication with others in the school. According to scientists, 70% of jack mackerel females are capable of spawning by the end of their first year when they are about 9 inches or 23 centimeters long. This may occur both in nearshore waters and well offshore from February to October, when water temperatures reach 57 to 61 degrees Fahrenheit or 14 to 16 degrees centigrade. Larger adults may spawn earlier than the smaller ones. Jack mackerel are batch spawners, with females doing so every 5 days and perhaps as often as 25 times a season. Depending on size, each female may produce 800 to over 400,000 eggs per batch. The eggs hatch within 2 to 3 days and continue to develop as larvae within the plankton as it drifts in the currents. They eventually settle in nearshore waters, often in kelp and eelgrass, with the juveniles often forming very dense schools. Longevity is estimated to be as much as 30 years or more. The fish you see in this bait pail are chub mackerel, Scomber japonicus. I am told no angler refers to them by this name, preferring Pacific, blue, or green mackerel. Unlike the jack mackerel, they are true members of the mackerel family. The oblique dark blue wavy lines on their back readily distinguish them from other baitfish in our region. The two dorsal fins are well separated. Although they are reported to reach a maximum length of 25 inches or 64 centimeters, common lengths are closer to half that. The maximum published weight was 2,900 grams, or about 6 pounds. They may live as long as 18 years if they aren't munched. Or used for bait. Chub mackerel are an Indo-Pacific species, found mainly in subtropical and temperate seas. In the eastern Pacific, they range from Alaska to Chile, down to depths of nearly 1,000 feet or 300 meters. Adults are reported to stay near the bottom during the day, then go out into open water at night to feed on copepods and other crustaceans in the plankton. and the occasional fish or squid. They school by size and are frequently seen in mixed schools with other baitfish, such as jack mackerel. Their schools may make summer migrations into temperate waters. Tune in again soon for another episode of Munching and Mating in the Macrocystis with your host, Dr. Bill.